Episode number 343. Well, what is it? What is going on here? Said he, in a jeering voice, on seeing the prisoner sitting up, and Felton about to go out. Is this corpse come to life already? Felton, my lad, did you not perceive that you were taken for a novice, and that the first act was being performed of a comedy, of which we shall doubtless have the pleasure of following out all the developments? I thought so, my lord, said Felton. But as the prisoner is a woman, after all, I wish to pay the attention that every man of gentle birth owes to a woman, if not on her account, at least on my own. Milady shuddered through all system. These words of Felton's passed like ice through her veins. So, replied De Winter, laughing, that beautiful so skillfully dishevelled, that white skin, and that languishing look, have not yet seduced you, you heart of stone? No, my lord, replied the impassive young man. Your lordship may be assured that it requires more than the tricks and coquetry of a woman to corrupt me. In that case, my brave lieutenant, let us leave milady to find out something else, and go to supper, but be easy. She has a fruitful imagination, and the second act of the comedy will not delay its steps after the first. And at these words Lord De Winter passed his arm through that of Felton, and led him out, laughing. Oh, I will be a match for you, murmured milady, between her teeth. Be assured of that, you poor spoiled monk, you poor converted soldier, who has cut his uniform out of a monk's frock. By the way, resumed De Winter, stopping at the threshold of the door, you must not, milady, let this check take away your appetite. Taste that fowl, and those fish. On my honor, they are not poisoned. I have a very good cook, and is not to be my heir. I have full and perfect confidence in him. Do as I do. Adieu, dear sister, till your next swoon. This was all that milady could endure. Her hands clutched her armchair, she ground the teeth inwardly, her eyes followed the motion of the door as it closed behind Lord De Winter and Felton, and the moment she was alone a fresh fit of despair seized her. She cast her eyes upon the table, saw the glittering of a knife, rushed toward it, and clutched it, but her disappointment was cruel. The blade was round, and of flexible silver. A burst of laughter resounded from the other side of the ill-closed door, and the door opened. Ah, ah! Cried Lord De Winter. Ah, ah! Don't you see, my brave Felton? Don't you see what I told you? That knife was for you, my lad. She would have killed you. Observe, this is one of her peculiarities, to get rid thus, after one fashion or another, of all the people who bother. If I had listened to you, the knife would have been pointed, and of steel. Then no more of Felton. She would have cut your throat, and after that everybody else's. See, John, see how well she knows how to handle a knife. In fact, milady still held the harmless weapon in a clenched hand, but these last words, this supreme insult, relaxed her hands, her strength, and even her will. The knife fell to the ground.